No idea will work unless you are committed to doing the work. I'm going to repeat that brain tattoo because it's so important. Most people come to a Facebook Live, or they read a book, or they listen to an audiobook, or they invest in an online course, but they don't get traction because they don't stay with what they want to change long enough. 66 days until automaticity. 66 days to run the protocol. 66 days of going the extra mile for your customers until it becomes a new way of being. 66 days of developing your mindset and your heart set until it becomes the new you. And then of course you have to go deeper into the neuro pathway, right? And so the key is really this. Most people want to make a change, but they don't stay with the change long enough until the change becomes automatic. All change is hard at first, and it's messy in the middle, and it's beautiful at the end. All change is hard at first, and it's messy in the middle, and it's beautiful at the end. And so if it wasn't hard at first, it wouldn't be real change, okay? And so the ideas I want to offer to you, number one, APR. Absolute personal responsibility. APR, absolute personal responsibility. You see, if you practice blaming long enough, you are going to be Federer or Messi or Michelangelo level on blaming. I'm going to repeat that again. APR. Your life changes when you take absolute personal responsibility of the way your life looks. And if you blame it on your parents, if you blame it on your boss, if you blame it on your community, if you blame it on the economy, the more you do that, you will be practicing being spectacular at blaming. Your life changes when you look in the mirror and say, if I'm not healthy, it's because of me. Your life changes when you say, if I'm not happy in my relationships, it's because I am not selecting the right people or being the right person. Your life transforms when you say, I don't have enough money because I'm not contributing the value and doing the right things and getting really good at what I do, so I make the money. Because income reflects the value that you give to the marketplace. APR. It's about absolute personal responsibility is also about saying, I'm not having the impact in the world because I'm not doing the things and running the rituals and installing the beliefs required to have an impact on the world. You can achieve the remarkable, the seemingly impossible. You can realize spectacular results. Here's my question. Are you installing the right beliefs? Are you running the right heart sets? Have you practiced the right rituals? Do you have the right people in your life? Are you reading the right books? I mean, people say, oh, I want to be world class, but they're watching TV every night and they're surfing the internet. And every second they have their notifications distracting them so they don't do focused work. They do fake work versus real work. So your life is a reflection of who you are. Your life is a reflection of who you are. And that's why in the title of this, I've been teaching this idea or offering to my audiences. You know, I used to say I suggest or I invite you, and now I'm suggesting to you that you must do these things because I love you, so I'm saying it like that. I think you must do the right things to think the right thoughts and install the right beliefs. You must remember that it's not only mindset, it's your heart set, cleaning out your anger or bitterness or disappointment. You must install the right habits. You must become the kind of person you are built to be. You must become kinder. You must do what it takes, not only when it's easy, but when it's hard. You must exercise APR, absolute personal responsibility. Why? Because potential unexpressed turns to pain, and if you are not doing these things, you will end up heartbroken on the last day of your life. You must become the person you have the potential to be for your family, for your community, for this world. We have never needed heroes as much as we do right now. Why wait for more of them when you have it within you to become one of them? So APR. Secondly, I want to offer to you, impossible is just a belief. Impossible is just a belief. That's not some platitude, some inspirational speak. If you look at the research and the work of a lot of the preeminent positive psychologists, okay, Martin Seligman, Sonia Lubomirsky, Heidi Grant Halverson. These people will tell you that the narrative or the way you see the world or your internal story reflects your ability to live your potential out in the world. Why? Because if you don't believe, if your story is you can't be world class as an athlete or as an entrepreneur or as a business builder or as a human being, then you're not going to invest in the learning, you're not going to do the work required to live that potential. One American psychologist, his name is James Flynn, and he talks about capitalization IQ. And what he has found is this: it's not the most talented who wins, it's the one who capitalizes on their talents and their gifts to the fullest. And so you don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be physically gifted. It's how much of what you were born with you use and bring to life. And so that's really the point about the impossible is really just a belief. And the sad thing is most of us have been taught that our dreams are impossible. Most of us have been taught that a great life is reserved for the chosen few. And what I'm suggesting to you with great love and respect, I was just outside, and is that the impossible is a belief that the world has taught to you. And the job of a leader without a title and a job of an A player is really starting to look at your thinking, look at your core beliefs, journal about them, reflect on them, meditate on them, so you start to say, oh, these are just the programs that my parents and teachers and society have taught me, and this is not who I am. This is not who I am. Okay, so impossible is just a belief. Number 3, your success reveals your standards. Your success reveals your standards. What do I mean by that? Well, there are a lot of people who, and there's no judgment here, it's just an idea to play with. There are a lot of people who are mediocre in their work, mediocre in their mindset, average in their heart set. They're struggling. They're not really happy. They're not really having an impact on the world. And they tell you, well, they're really, really content. And I think they're in denial. A lot of those people are in denial. Now, you could say to me, Robin, some of those people are just, they don't want to be world class, and that's absolutely fine. But here's the key. What about those people who are actually in denial? And deep inside of them, they're really frightened. And so they say they're happy, and they say they're content, and they say that, oh, I don't want very much. But the reality is because they're just frightened people to go out there and bring on their A game. And so what I'm suggesting to you is your success is a reflection of your standards. And as you want to become more, and as you want to become a master of your craft, and as you want to change the world, and as you want to inspire all witnesses who see you, and as you want to become the most heroic version of yourself, you will be in a relentless pursuit of outright greatness. And that's where the people who have become legendary live. A few final ideas is pick your people. Pick your people. You've heard me say this before, but epigenetics is the genetic or the scientific phenomenon that your DNA is determined by your environment. Well, that's a very disruptive and game-changing thought. You don't have the life based on your genetics. You have the life based on your environments and your habits. And so, of course, if you don't have the right people in your life, and if you haven't installed the right environments, and if you don't have the right rituals, routines, then you're not going to allow your mind and your heart and your body and your spirit and your creativity and your productivity to be all that it truly can be playing at. And so I just want to remind you to be in the right rooms, be in the right circles, be with people whose lives you want to be living. All it takes is one conversation with someone who is doing what you've always dreamed of doing to show you and remind you that it is possible. And then they'll give you the strategy, and then they'll tell you the books that they read, and they'll tell you what they do every day. And fundamentally, it's different from the way most people live. You've heard me share this brain tattoo so many times, which is to have the results only 1% have. You've got to be willing to think the thoughts, do the things, and live the life that only 1% of the population are willing to do. And if you do that, you're going to be different, and people are going to call you weird, strange, and crazy. And that's why the people who have changed the world were the misfits, the oddballs, and the eccentrics. And neurobiologically, we are hardwired to fit into the herd. And so now it's the modern world and we're still running this ancient neurobiology of fitting in. But again, if you say you're too busy, if you make excuses, if you say I'm distracted, if you say I'll do it next year, no idea is going to work if you don't do the work. This is APR, absolute personal responsibility. You know, the victim loves entertainment, the leader loves education. The average performer loves leisure. The A player loves learning. You look at the billionaires, you look at the titans, you look at the people that I work with, you look at the best athletes, you look at the best entrepreneurs, you look at the best artists. These people are doing things that are different fundamentally from what society teaches you should be doing every day. And then the final thing I'd share with you is this: punch above your weight class. It's like a boxer, right? Like punch above your weight class. What do I mean? It's this. You want to, let's say you want more prosperity in your life, then go to the places where people who have lots of prosperity are. Just being around them will allow you to change your self-identity step by step. And as you know, your income always reflects your self-identity. If you want to be a better performer at work, you really want to be the heavyweight champion of your field, then go to the conferences, find the masterminds, go to the places where the people who really want to do world-class work are. And just their attitudes and just their emotions will start to infect your mindset, your heart set, your health set, and your soul set. Those are 4 words I've been teaching recently in my courses. Your mindset, those are your beliefs, your daily thoughts. Those are, of course, going to affect what you do every day. But a lot of people are teaching mindset. No one's talking about heart set, your emotional life. If you're angry, if you're bitter, if you're stuck in the past, if you're sad, if you haven't worked through those emotions, then even if you have a great mindset, you're never going to be the Picasso of what you do because your emotional energy is dragging you down. So work on your heart set along with your mindset. But there's a third piece. It's not only mindset and heart set, it's health set. If you're not physically strong, if you're not doing the workouts, if you're not sweating so you release BDNF, if you're not releasing dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin to create a pharmacy of mastery, you're not going to have the energy and the metabolic game to do world-class work and be a loving, awesome human being for your family and the planet. And then finally, it's not just mindset, it's not just heart set, it's not just health set, it's soul set. Turning down the voice of your ego. It's those old ideas. Feed the ego. Starve the ego, feed the soul. A bad day for your ego is a great day for your spirit. That's an old idea, it's not my idea. And so work on your spiritual life. A lot of people who teach business philosophies don't talk about your spiritual life, but it's not about religion. Your spiritual life to me is finding a mission that you would take a bullet for, doing work that contributes value to humanity, building a great company, building a great life, making your dreams come true, and at the same time being a philanthropist, making the world better, giving away a lot of what you make, being an instrument of service to humanity. To me, that's the real secret of energy. It's the real secret of happiness. It's the real secret of being an awesome human being. Giving your life over to a cause or a mighty mission that is so much bigger than your tiny or my tiny self. And if you can get mindset right, and you can get a heart set right, and health set right, and spirit set or soul set right, those 4 interior devotions will allow you to build exterior empires of vast beauty that all the world will behold.